Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Encourage the Heart, which are interviews as part of our Cultivate What Matters campaign. My name is Tirza Watts. I'm the Director of Student Life at CU Denver, and we're excited that you're here to join us today. Our guest is Joie Hirota, who goes by Joey, and I'll have Joey introduce herself in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Cultivate What Matters campaign. The Student Life and Campus Community team feels that the best things in life are cultivated little by little. We come to work every day as a group of people focused on the mission of helping college students cultivate what matters in their life and figuring out what they value. Because at the end of the day, this is really about your college journey and you figuring out what's my story, what are my hopes, my goals, and what fires me up. Because we can't wait to cheer you on in this journey of cultivating what matters right now where you're at. So at this time, I would love for Joey to introduce herself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're studying, and what you're involved in on campus.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joanne Hirota. I go by Joey for short, and I am a small group leader with the Peer Advocate Leader program here on campus for CU Denver. I am an upcoming junior and a communications major, so I'm really excited just to talk about myself today and to try to bump people's spirits up for the upcoming summer and fall semester.
Awesome, thank you. Well, so we have 7 questions that we're going to ask you, and I want to start with our first one. If I can get our slideshow to work here, which is, what's important to you right now when you reflect on kind of where we're at in our lives?
I think the most important thing in my life right now is just focusing on myself, because I am in a period of my life that is really overwhelming and very stressful. So I think it's very important for myself to just take a moment to pause and to breathe and to really take care of myself, because I think at the end of the day, my well-being, especially my emotional well-being, is at the forefront of everything I do.
Are you finding that you have support around you that's allowing or supporting you taking that pause?
Yeah, definitely. I know that when I've been feeling down recently, because I know it's a very weird time for many folks, that I'm personally reaching out to friends and family and my significant other about, like, oh, I'm feeling lonely right now, for example. Like, I need support right now, and I've been receiving lots of support, and it's been making this whole like transition not as lonely as it could be.
Thank you for sharing that. So, when we go through stressed periods of life, sometimes the weirdest things strike us as funny. And other times we seek out humor to help us manage stress or just to survive an unusual circumstance. I know I've been loving all the parody videos of songs redone. I saw one recently where they changed all the language of the song about participating in Zoom meetings, and it was set to a Lizzo song, which I thought was hysterical. So I'm curious to know from you, what's making you laugh right now?
Um, let's see. Well, I know that this one documentary on Netflix has been going pretty viral. The what is it?
Was it Tiger King?
Yeah, the Tiger King, the Joe Exotic one. And I didn't know who this was or that this was a thing, but my significant other told me, like, hey, we should watch this video, this Netflix documentary. And I thought it was just gonna be like a 2-hour thing. It's like 8 episodes of this guy named Joe Exotic, and it's really interesting, but it's so funny because it's just so wild to me. Like, the shock value is huge. So I think if someone wants something kind of educational and interesting to watch, like, it's definitely something that they should look into because it's pretty good.
Awesome. I've had a lot of friends tell me they've laughed all the way through it.
I watched 1 episode and it's pretty good.
Okay. So, our next question is really about who's encouraged you in the past. We all have people that are in our lives. Sometimes it's for a reason. Sometimes it's for a season, and sometimes it's somebody who's been part of your life your whole life. Pick somebody from your past that's encouraged you and tell us a story about them. What have they done to encourage you?
There's just so many people in my life, but if I had to pick one, I would probably say that my dad has encouraged me a lot. I know that as a child, I've looked up to him a lot. So I knew that he had a really good work ethic and that he was a really family oriented person and he just really cared about everyone. And I know that's something that I looked up to. So I think that the fact that I went to Denver School of the Arts and I had a senior recital. And I asked him, hey, do you want to sing a song with me in my recital? And I didn't really expect him to say yes because he's a very quiet man, but he had the courage to actually go to practices with me and sing a duet with me on my senior recital. And I think that has really encouraged me to be able to take more risks and to be more open to new opportunities.
That's a great story. So if you had the chance to say something to your dad right now, knowing that you've shared that story about him, what would you say to him?
I would say that it was a really good video, even though he thinks otherwise, but I wish I could talk to him in person right now. I'm trying to quarantine myself, not that I'm sick, but both my parents are in more of a high risk zone age-wise, so I want to be careful. And
I understand that.
you know, I know that I'm not dealing with anything, but I don't know who's been in contact with me. So if I can, I try to talk to them like every day or every other day via FaceTime to connect with them. But I just tell him that he's a super cool dude and I respect him a lot.
I think he would appreciate knowing that. So my next question is, when you think about the last 4 weeks, and this is the beginning of the fourth week of our stay-at-home order, tell me what you've learned about yourself in the last month.
That's crazy to hear that this is the fourth month, actually.
Yeah, beginning of week 4.
That's
Crazy.
so weird. I honestly think that during this whole quarantine, I've had to really learn how to monitor and manage my time because I know that motivation has been something that almost everyone has been struggling with because they get to be at home. I mean, I've been staying in bed all day. Like, it's been kind of hard for me to almost take things seriously because life doesn't feel super real right now, but at the same time I've also learned like that I have the willpower to push through and to get my work done for the peer advocate leader organization here, or get my homework done because I have a lot of responsibilities in my life. But it's been like a testament to, can I do this, can I still push forward?
So you probably had to really dig in and find your inner motivation and set some goals and maybe some structure, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know that's difficult. I'm living at my dining room table, 8 hours a day. And it's easy to get distracted when you're at home. So you have to really focus. Yeah. So my next question is, we talked about how your dad was an encouragement to you at one point in your life and is continually. How would you encourage somebody who is struggling right now? What would you say to them or do for them?
I would tell someone who's struggling right now to just really try and push through, and that's really hard, but to understand that since this is being broadcast to students, like, we're lucky enough to even have resources to make a transition from in-person to online.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, oh, if this happened 30 years ago, I don't think we'd even have like a second option to really do this. But I also think to encourage yourself, it's also good to encourage others, just so that we can have a area of positivity for each other, because I think just we see so much negativity. So if we can just like give someone a compliment today, because it can really change someone's day, and to try to look more towards what can we do now to make this situation better than to dote on, oh, everything's bad. I'm not being able to do anything.
It's almost like we need to find that one thing a day that we go, this is something that is good right now, or it's pleasing me right now, or it is something that's made me pause and take a breath, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just own that thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just super important to remind yourself, like, hey, I didn't cause a pandemic, and this things like this just happen, and that's okay. And the most we can do is just to power through and have a blast while we power through.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. I don't get to see some of my family friends a lot. And on Sunday, I did a Zoom meeting with someone who is a friend that I call an aunt, and her two daughters and my two sisters. And so 6 of us were on screen. And we would have never done that if we weren't in this setting. We would
Yep.
have waited until I traveled home to the other side of the United States months from now to get together and do it in person. But yeah, that one thing was something I was really thankful for, that even though this is an unusual time, I got to do that on Sunday, and we had a wonderful time together.
Yeah, I know that my family, we were going to set up a Zoom, and it's, me and my family here in Denver, my grandparents in Hawaii, and my dad's side of the family in Switzerland. So that's 3 different time zones.
That's exactly what we were doing on my call.
Yeah.
Scotland, North Carolina, and Colorado. We had a 7-hour time span. You can do this.
Yeah. And I think, on the bright side, the coronavirus is giving people an opportunity to connect with people that they normally wouldn't have. And I think we're really valuing the importance of like communication between people that we really do care about.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. So we have one question left. I know that you've probably experienced this before with the Student Life team. We like to sometimes end activities or events and have each participant just say one word. And that word should reflect what you're thinking or feeling right now. So what's your one word for the day? And if you'd like to tell us why it's that one word, feel free to expand.
I would say anticipation, because I know like right when this happened, I'm about to go into a really big life change. Like I'm moving in a month, and I'm doing all this stuff coming the future, and the future looks a little bit cloudy, but I think is going to be great. So I'm really just anticipating like what is coming up in my life and what's coming up for other students around the campus.
Okay, thank you. Anticipation. All right. Well, folks, that ends our episode of Encourage the Heart. We hope that you have enjoyed hearing Joey's answers to our questions today. I want to thank you for joining us. I also want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, CU Denver Student Life. The closer we get to 100 subscribers, we can get a unique name for our channel, and that's our current goal. So again, subscribe to our channel and join us again in the future for another Encourage the Heart episode. Joey, thanks for joining me today, and bye, everybody.
Bye.